There are games that happens once in a lifetime, the games that you remember forever. I mean, just look at this position. White has opponent b7, which threatens to take the rook and promote. The queen is also hanging, and if you exchange it, you lose immediately. Yet, this position is winning for black, and the winning move is the craziest one I have made in my whole life. So let me walk you through the most incredible game I have ever played. Hi guys, and welcome to the Journey to Grandmaster, the place where you can improve every aspect of your chess game. So it was a classical tournament over the board game. I played it as black, and the game started with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, d5. So the queen's gambit so far, knight f3 and bishop b4. So here it transposed into the Ragozin defense, a very dynamic opening which I really liked to play as a teenager, and this game happened some years ago. So my opponent played bishop g5, one of the main lines, h6, bishop h4, and I decided that I want to be active from the very beginning. So I played the move g5, pushing the bishop back. It's still a theoretical line, and knight goes to e4. Now it's a double attack. It's threatening to take this knight on c3, which is of course the most dangerous threat, and also perhaps in some variations to take the bishop on g3. White played queen to c2, and now I played c5, adding even more pressure into the center, attacking this pawn on d4. My opponent took the pawn, and I played d4, which is rather a mistake, but like I said, I just tried to be as active as possible. The point is, if you take this knight on e4, that would be completely losing. As I take now on c3, you can't take it back, because then I'm gonna win the rook. And actually, that's going to be just a checkmate here also. But even if you don't take, then I'm threatening to take this guy with a check and promote into the queen. So d4 has been played, but after long castles, which is the right move, white is now better because you see that there is a huge problem here for the queen. I have calculated the move knight takes c3, so I have played it, and then just took the pawn. Now the point is, if you take it, then I'm pretty happy with this position. Of course, white has a compensation here, but well, that's an extra exchange, so I was fine with that. But white could have taken here on d4, which would be potentially very problematic. I wanted to go to a5 with my queen and trying to create some threats for the king, but yeah, objectively this position is better for white. My opponent played bishop e5, which is still a very strong move. I just castled, not to waste any tempi, and yeah, getting ready for my attack. He took on d4 now, queen went to a5, bishop went to d6, rook d8, and knight goes to b5. Now the bishop is under attack, so I decided to move it away. Bishop f6 seemed like a good square for it because it also defends the rook here, but the bishop is very solid, leaving this g7 square for the king if I need it. And my opponent played a3, which is a mistake. Probably he wanted to cover this b4 square, just making sure that everything is fine. But actually, it allowed me here to take the bishop on d6, which seems to be crazy, just giving up the rook for the bishop. I didn't play it, but the point is, afterwards, I can attack this knight on b5, and then the a3 pawn would be lost. And of course, this pawn is very important in terms of attacking the king and basically giving some checkmating threats. And of course, white's idea is to play bishop c7 at some point, and then this queen would have no squares to go, so if I play a6 immediately, I would just lose because of bishop c7. What I did was b6 instead. I was trying to just continue my development. White played queen b3, still trying to somehow cage this queen maybe, and trying to stabilize the position. I played bishop d7, continuing the development. My opponent took, and here is the moment where all of the actions begin here, because I don't take it back, I just ignore the whole b7 threat altogether, and I'm just capturing this knight on b5. And now the point is, if you take it back with a queen, you're basically getting checkmated after queen c3, and I mean, you can't leave no defenders for your king. If you take it with the back, with the pawn back, then you're leaving this file open. I can just take this pawn for now and then continue my threads. This bishop is also hanging. I mean, this position is just beautiful for black. So the only reasonable move seems to be this b7, which my opponent did. And now I played bishop a4. attacking the queen and making sure that my bishop is not gonna be lost, and queen b4. Now we are coming to this main moment of the whole game, at least in my opinion. So it's black to move. Try to find it, because I guarantee you're gonna enjoy it afterwards. So pause the video for a second and try to find the best move for black here. Okay, I hope you have found it. So it's queen to e5, basically a double queen sacrifice, because now you can take this queen, or you can take the rook on a8 and promote into a queen. So basically you're taking the rook away, that is 5 pawns, and you're promoting a new queen, which is 9 pawns. So it's like plus 14 in terms of pawns in one move, and yet still black is winning here. So let's take a look at the variations. So if you take this rook and promote your queen, then the problem is queen a1 check, and if you go away with the king, then the queen goes back, queen d4, and now no matter where the king is going, it's just a checkmate after queen takes d1. And if you try to block the queen with queen to b1, then there is queen to c3, and once again, that's a checkmate. So it's not possible to take this rook on a8. But what about just bishop takes e5, taking this queen away? Now there is rook takes d1, check. The only square is king to b1. Bishop takes e5, check. Queen c3. Well, if you play a king a2, then you're getting checkmated immediately, and there is no other square for the queen for the king to go. Bishop queen to c3, rook d2 check. Now the king has to go somewhere, b1 or c1. Let's say c1. Bishop takes c3, and of course you can take the rook now and enjoy your extra queen. But rook d1 is a checkmate, and basically in this position it's not possible to avoid this checkmate. So that is a tactical justification of this queen to e5 move, and you can't take both of the queens. Now my opponent played rook d3, trying to stabilize the position. I played queen a1 check, and after king to d2, there is a immediate winning for black, which unfortunately I haven't found here. So maybe you can pause the video for a second once again and try to find the best move here. Okay, so of course, well, still it's not possible to save this rook. You can play knight c6, which is probably also winning, but it's much more difficult than queen takes a4. The rook is still hanging. I mean, that's more complicated. But what is winning immediately is bishop to b2, threatening checkmate in one, and basically there is no good way to stop this checkmate. I mean, if you take on b2, you're losing, because you're a queen down, and then black is able to just capture this pawn, to say the least. And if you try something like e4, then queen goes to d1 with a check, bishop goes to c1, and basically there is no way to escape for this queen, for this king. If you go to king d4, now finally black can finish the development with a move knight to c6, which is also a fork, and well, it leads to a checkmate. I mean, you can also just take the queen, and that should be enough, because after rook takes d1, there is bishop takes a3. I mean, that's a crazy position, but it's clear that this king is going to be checkmated. For example, if you take the rook and promote into a queen, there is knight to c2, and that's a checkmate on the board. So here, bishop b2 was a huge move, huge opportunity for me, which unfortunately I missed. I played here instead queen d1, which is very tempting, but here suddenly white is better. But I mean, the objective evaluation almost plays zero role here, because it's all about the practical game, about whether black is gonna give a checkmate or white is gonna survive and win the game like that. But well, the game is continuing, and it's gonna be incredible too. So queen d2, trying to stabilize everything. Now blocking this check, I took queen c4. Obviously, I can never exchange the queens. Once I do it, I immediately lose, because endgame white has just so much material more. So my only chance is to chase this king and try to give a checkmate. So I played queen takes c4. Now b takes a, promoting into the queen, and if you count the material, that would be just incredible. That is just an extra queen here for white, plus an extra exchange, if I count the material correctly. Yeah, that is what happens, but still the game goes on. Bishop to c6. Now you can just take the pawn on a7 and enjoy your extra queen, but afterwards queen e4 would be a checkmate in one. So it's not possible. So my opponent took this dangerous bishop away and sacrificed the queen. Still, there is a full extra rook here for white. But take a look at this rook. It's on h1 doing absolutely nothing, and you need some time to develop it. And meanwhile, I'm gonna create some dangerous threats for the king, hopefully. So my opponent played f3 here, trying to escape with the king. Of course, well, that's the biggest problem, this king on e3. Once you make sure that it's safe, basically you should just win the game. But yeah, I'm continuing to be as active as possible. I have to, because you see, all of my pieces are on the active squares, and if I'm not doing anything, my opponent will just escape with the king, and then the game would be over. So right now, the most active move is rook takes d6. This king goes away, so let's see what happens if rook takes d6. Now queen c5, and the problem is, once again, there are no good squares for this king to go. You can go to e4, but then yeah, I have queen to e5 to say the least, and then I'm gonna win this rook, because you have to go to d file and block the queen from protecting the rook. And if you go away with the rook trying to block it, of course I'm gonna take it because I have more attackers. So it's not possible to take this bishop back, so my opponent decided just to go away and enjoy an extra exchange. So I took the rook on d3, and once again, remember, I never exchange the queens. I need to still try to continue some threats, even though the king is already safer here, but yeah, of course, it's still far away from developing all of the pieces. g3, bishop to d4 check, queen to b2. So I'm trying to consolidate all of my pieces, maybe bring the knight into the attack. And yeah, white is just trying to finish the development. Maybe open this rook, because once you exchange on g5, of course, my king would be in trouble. So I'm playing knight e5 with the tempo. Notice that I'm trying to be as active as possible with my every move, creating new threats, because if you're not creating threats for your opponent, it's gonna be so simple for him to play, and then you can never win the game. So I'm trying to create those problems, and of course I don't want this rook to be opened, because that's gonna be so dangerous for me. So even at the cost of a pawn, I'm trying to close this position. He plays f4, now knight goes to c4, I'm spotting this e3 square, which would be beautiful for the knight potentially. Also, yeah, the knight has some perspectives. King to h2, knight goes to e3 anyway, and also it's blocking the queen from defending the e2 pawn, and yeah, this e2 pawn is a problem. And notice that those pieces still can't be developed. That's the main issue for white. Knight went to f5, bishop g2, finally developing. Bishop f2, now I'm threatening this g3 pawn, and there is no way to save it, but white at least is finishing the development. Now finally all of the pieces are active, and that is of course good for white. Queen went back to f6. King to g7. Now you can see that white is starting to create some threats for black's king as well, and that is the first moment where it was possible to exchange the queens, because already in terms of the material, I'm gonna get a lot of pawns here. If we count it, I have like 2 extra pawns. So I have a knight and 2 pawns for the rook, which is roughly equal. And also I have some targets here, so I could have just gone into the endgame. But yeah, I guess this game should have been continued in a very, very active way. So I decided, well, my opponent's king is weaker, so I have to continue attacking it. So I played queen a1 check, bishop f1, and now king g6. I just wanted to make sure that my king is safe. I wanted to escape to the h5 square, because otherwise, well, I'm gonna get checkmated if I just leave it on g1, on g7, sorry. Also, my queen is hanging, if you notice, after queen h8. So I played that, and then queen g8, king to h5, queen takes f7, king takes h4. I'm trying to escape. The main point for me is to escape this rook, because the only queen can't give a checkmate. Rook went to b3, trying to create some pressure from this side. Bishop takes f4, winning another pawn here. Queen a5, bringing all of the pieces together. Of course, I mean, this h4 square might be the safest square there is on the whole board for this king, all of a sudden. And queen went to f2, giving a check. King g5, yeah, maybe here, just trying to say, well, I have a lot of pieces here, so the king is safe. g3. Probably not the best move, but I'm trying to be active once again, creating some threats. Queen d4 check, king goes to h1, knight h4, now threatening to the queen, once again creating some threats, but actually objectively that's a bad move, because my opponent has e3 here, and both of the queens are hanging. If I take this guy, he just takes this one, and thanks to this pawn, white is completely winning here. So e3 was a great opportunity for my opponent. Instead, he played rook to b5 check. Well, yeah, the most active move is always a check, so he went for it, but it's actually a mistake in this case. Queen went to h3, but I mean, if you take a look with the engine, of course, you might notice a great number of mistakes. But when you're really playing such a game as a human being, it's so difficult to find the right move, because there are so many variations here, and every move, I mean, everything can happen. There are so many responses for both sides. So yeah, to make a mistake is the easiest thing you can do here. Queen went to f2, and now bishop g2 is a final mistake here, because after queen e1, bishop f1, and g2, black just wins here because it's a fork, and there is no way to save this bishop. And, well, the bishop is pinned. If you take with the queen, you lose the queen. And if you play king g1, then queen f1 is just a checkmate. So this concludes the most amazing game of my entire chess career. I hope you enjoyed it, and as a thank you for watching it, I want to give you an opportunity to win a completely free one-on-one chess lesson with me, so I could help you to improve your chess level. All you need to do to take part is to hit the like button, to subscribe to this channel, and to write in the comments how you started to play chess. I'm curious to find out your story. Now, if you enjoyed this game, chances are this 16-year-old girl will amaze you with her beautiful queen sacrifice.